gonna, yeah, we're gonna revisit all of those things. We're gonna get a little bit deeper into it. We did legs and glutes yesterday, so hopefully you're feeling a little bit like you've worked out that area anyway. So to do splits, you don't just need to be flexible, you need strength in that area as well, just to kind of support those muscles. Just checking in if you have any injuries, if you're sick, if something doesn't feel right, you know, just be very mindful of your body, be kind to yourself, make sure that you're kind of paying attention to anything that might be hurting. Pull yourself out of any moves or postures that might feel like they're a little bit, they're not working for you. Do as much or as little of the flow as you would like. The same thing that I say to everyone in my physical classes as well, no one knows your body like you. So if something isn't working for you personally, take a step back, have a drink of water, take your child's pose, do what you need to do, and then rejoin us when you feel ready. If I have any pregnant ladies joining me, lovely. Just make sure you've got a nice pillow to pop underneath your head and shoulders to make sure that you're slightly supported and lifted. And no twists through the waist or the spine because it restricts the airflow to the fetus. And after this first trimester, no lying on your stomach. I think that should be everything. And no lying supine either. That's why we need the cushion. So yes, we are going to revisit splits. So I'm just going to give you guys a couple of little notes before we begin. So splits is a really, really, really deep stretch. It's really, really, really intense for the hamstrings. So we're going to do a lot of warming up the hamstrings and the hip area before we go down to splits. We're going to take splits once at the end like we did with the last class, not to scare you or anything, but just so that you guys know, hamstrings are a bugger. If you injure them, they take a really, really long time to heal. They're very, very delicate areas. If you've had a hamstring injury before, then you know they're an absolute nightmare. 2 years ago, I tore my hamstring tendon. It was a grade 3 tear. It was one step away from needing surgery. I was told I'd never split again. I pretty much can now, but it's taken 2 years to get back to that stage. I would not want any of you to ever have an injury like that. I got that injury because I was stupid and I pushed myself too far into a splits posture. So if you ever feel in any of these poses like something's a little bit too much, like it's hurting rather than feeling like a satisfying stretch, pull yourself out, push yourself back in. Take your time, be slow. You're not going to drop straight into splits on the first time you're doing the class or even the second. Just take it as it comes. We will revisit this every week if it's still a popular one. And hopefully you guys will get into your splits in a nice, safe and comfortable way, and there will be no injuries. Obviously, I'm not there to make sure that you're doing it properly and to check in on you. So please, 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 please be very careful with your bodies. Be mindful of yourselves. Don't be stupid. That's all I can really ask. So, bringing yourselves onto your mats. We're going to start in a kneeling position today. As always, if this isn't where you want to start, that's absolutely fine. Kneeling can be a little bit uncomfortable for some people, so I completely understand if this is not in your practice. Do not worry. So, if kneeling is not in your practice, you can start sitting. That's completely up to you. So if you do want to take either your kneeling or your seated position, bring yourself onto the mat and just take a nice deep breath. And before we close our eyes, I just want you to look around and just take in your space, your physical space. Make sure you've got enough space to do your practice comfortably. Yesterday, I was crashing into things. So we just want to be really mindful of the space around us. And I need to take my own advice as well. So just take a nice deep breath. Make sure you've got enough space. And then we're going to close our eyes, drop our shoulders down, and take a nice deep inhale through the nose, expand the abdomen. Send all of that air down towards the bottom of your lungs, filling them like a glass all the way to the top. And as you exhale, reverse the breath, draw the navel in towards the spine. And again, inhale. And exhale. And take that breath, and as you inhale, feel it wash through your body, almost cleansing your organs. Filling your lungs from the bottom all the way to the top. Maybe visualize your lungs as a glass of water filling. And exhale, releasing all that breath, emptying the glass, navel to spine. And again, inhale. Maybe you want to pause for a second at the top, always teaching your bodies to use the full capacity of your lungs. And exhale. And just tuning into that breath, we're going to start to push out and tune out all outside distractions. This is your time. Take that imaginary broom, start to sweep the mind completely clear of clutter, wandering thoughts that you don't need or want. Breathing deeply into your body. We're going to start to check in with our tension points. Inhale, start to drop those shoulders down away from the ears, creating space for your neck to grow long. And as you drop those shoulders down, feel the shoulder blades glide down your spine towards the mat. Inhale to lengthen through your spine. Make sure you're not slouching, sitting nice and tall. We're lifting up but grounding down. Taking your attention to your jaw and making sure it's soft. Unlock. Unclench those back teeth, make sure they're not touching. And draw the tongue down away from the roof of the mouth. And if you're on your knees and it feels a little bit uncomfortable, feel free to come to seated. Otherwise, just take in those sensations. You can also come to Thunderbolt, where you tuck your toes under behind you. And breathing. And let's take our attention to our facial features. Make sure they become soft and gentle. We're not furrowing our brow. We're not tensing our features. We're not holding any worry in our face. We tend to hold on to stress in really subtle ways. So just checking in and making sure our shoulders are down, our jaw is unlocked, our tongue is away from the roof of the mouth, and our facial features are soft and gentle. And see what a difference it makes to our bodies, to our minds, to our general aura. To just unlock those little tension points. And maybe you've been feeling a little bit frustrated or scared, angry, sad. Maybe you're feeling a lot of emotions that you've never felt before, and all of those things are valid. So the theme of today's class is going to be togetherness. And I want you guys all to feel like we are practicing together, because we are, even though we're connected through an internet connection, through our computer screens, we are all doing this at the same time. And that togetherness, that unity is so important. So when we're all struggling to do our splits at the end, know that all of us are doing it together. And just focusing that breath on that feeling of togetherness that we are all still practicing. And how lucky we are to keep that practice. And very gently drop your right ear onto your right shoulder. And you're going to reach that left arm out. And just trickle those fingers along the mat. And maybe you're happy here, maybe you want to bring that right arm up and just bring your hand to your left ear and gently give yourself a stretch through the neck and the arm. And maybe you want to lift those left fingers off the mat so the stretch comes all the way from the fingers up. Deep breath, inhale. And gently let go, trickle those right fingers along the mat in line with your right hip. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder, and if you want to bring that left hand up, take hold of your right ear and gently pull. And you can lift those fingers if you want, so energy is coming out. Really nice. Take a nice deep breath. Raise those arms up above your head, and you're just going to bring your palms into a prayer position. I'm just going to show you from the side what we're going to do. You're going to take those palms into the back of your head. So almost like you're making a little point out of the back of your head, and you want to push the wrists into your head and just draw your elbows in. So so instead of kind of doing a sexy pose, you're going to draw those elbows in around your head. Bring the wrists in towards the back of the head and gently pushing, and you're going to drop your chin to your chest and curve the spine, doming the spine like a letter C. And exhale, keeping your arms in the same position, we're just going to gaze up towards the sky and arch the back. And again, so it's like a cat-cow movement, little C shape. And opening the chest. Keep those hands pushed into the back of your head, elbows closing in, and again. Keep that breath flowing, exhale. And once more. And exhale. Take your arms out to the side and then draw them behind you, putting those shoulders together at the back. Inhale. Nice, and then bring those arms in front and push yourself into an all fours position. Stack those joints. Push down through your palms. Push down through your knees. If you want to, you can tuck those toes under as well and push back into your heels. Try and make sure that back's in a nice straight tabletop position. So if I put a hot cup of coffee on your back, you wouldn't spill it. Pushing into the outside of your palms, your little fingers. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. And inhale. And this time when you exhale, I want you to breathe like you're fogging up a mirror. Like a dragon breathing smoke. Inhale. And this time when we breathe out, I want you to do the same thing, but keeping your mouth closed. So you might sound a little bit like you're snoring. Feel that fogging sensation in the back of your throat. This is your ujjayi breath. Inhale. And once more. And maybe you want to stay here grounding, and maybe you want to gently lift those knees and float. Keep that back nice and solid, core nice and tight. Keep that trunk nice and stable, and just hover those knees here, feeling the lifting up through your shoulders, through your legs, engaging that whole body, and just hold, breathe into that pose. Inhale. Give me 5. 4, we're just hovering the knees slightly, maybe 5 or 10 centimeters off the mat. 3, lovely. 2, and 1. Drop the knees, untuck the feet, deep inhale, drop your navel to the floor, gaze up to the sky in your cow pose. Exhale, dome the shoulders, crown of the head towards the floor, arch like a scared cat. And again, inhale. Mobilizing the spine here, and inhale. And keep that movement flowing. If you're happy with your cat-cow, then just continue with that. If you want to get weird, if you want to freestyle that movement, give yourself a wiggle in the hips. Maybe you want to step all the way back into your child's pose. Give yourself a wiggle here. Bring yourself all the way forward into your cobra. Whatever feels good for you. Really, really wake up that body. Get into all the nooks and crannies, the bits that need to be woken up. Get into the fingers, the neck, the hips, the spine. Really, really use this time to just be a little bit crazy with your movement, squiggling all over the place. Do whatever feels good. Really, really nice. Well done, everybody. Take another deep breath. Take a nice deep inhale here. Tuck the right toe under and just lift that right leg out behind you. Keeping that spine nice and flat. Core engaged, and you're going to start to do circles with the knee here, just opening up the hips. We're just going to start the process of opening our hips. So like you've got a pen on your knee. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go back the other way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lovely. Drop that knee. And let's do the other side. Flex the foot, lift that leg, and circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, like you've got a pen on your knee, opening those hips, and back the other way. 1, 2, breathing still. 3, 4, and 5. Drop the knee. And going back to our right side now, flex that right foot, lift that leg up behind you, and maybe you're happy here, staying in this position. Maybe you want to trickle those left hands out in front along the mat, and maybe you want to lift the left arm, and maybe you want to come all the way back, bring that left hand onto the right foot and kick that right foot into your hand and start to reach up behind you, getting into your spine, your hamstrings, your shoulders. Taking a nice deep breath here. And gaze straight ahead, find your drishti, somewhere to rest your gaze. And breathe. Well done. Well done, lovely. Whichever version you're in, gorgeous. 3, 2, and 1. Let go of your foot, but keep that foot flexed, that knee up. Bring both hands back down and really make sure that your weight is evenly distributed between the hands. Tuck that left foot under and push up into your 3-legged dog. Take a nice deep breath here, and you're just going to reach that leg up behind you, straightening that leg and really pushing down through your palms. Take a nice deep breath. And start to open the hips. Bring that right leg behind you. Bend the knees. Gaze underneath that right armpit. And take a nice deep inhale here. And gently draw that right knee in towards the chest. Bring that right foot down and drop the left leg down onto the mat into a low lunge. Right ankle underneath right knee. Hands down on either side of the mat. Take a nice deep breath and really feel that hip opening, dropping down into the hips. So this is the beginning of opening our hips and getting our hamstrings nice and stretched out for our splits. So maybe you're happy here and maybe you just want to take a little monkey twist. So if you do, you're going to take your left hand. You're going to bring your left hand outside of the mat. So we're taking the mat out of the equation. Take it wide. Take a nice deep breath, reach that right arm, so your bent leg arm out in front. And if you want to go further, we're going to bring our right arm round in a circle, reaching behind us. And maybe you're happy here, maybe you want to pick up that back foot and really kick that left foot into your right hand and sink into that hip opening. Lovely, deep breath. So this is really the beginning of opening the hips for your splits. And breathe. 5, 4, 3, well done. 2, whichever version you're in. And 1, drop the foot if you're holding it. Bring both palms down on either side of that front foot. And we're going to bend the back leg, straighten the right leg, flex the right foot, and start to glue the torso down towards the thigh. Try and keep your spine nice and flat if you can. And this is going to be a really nice, intense stretch through the hamstrings. So take a nice deep inhale here. And as you exhale, really feel that deep pull. It's quite a satisfying stretch. Trying to claw yourself forward with each breath. Inhale. And exhale. Keep that right foot flexed if you can. With every exhale, try and bring yourself even deeper into the stretch. Gorgeous. Take a nice deep breath, bring that right foot back and sink into those hips. And again, we're going to bring our arms up in line with our ears, drop those shoulders down. And maybe you're happy here, really feel that sinking through the hips. Maybe you want to take a little twist. So we're going to split the arms, left arm will come forward, right arm will come back. And again, maybe you're happy here, maybe you want to reach that right hand back onto your calf and reach back with the left arm. Really sink into those hips. So the whole time we're really thinking about opening our hips and stretching our hamstrings. So taking a nice deep breath here. Exhale, windmill those arms back around. And again with the hamstring stretch, straighten that right leg. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Really getting deep into the hamstrings. We really want to warm up these muscles. Make sure that they're good to go when we do finally drop into a splits. Inhale, we lengthen the spine. Exhale, folding. And then gently bring yourself back into your lunge position. And bring both hands now to the inside of your right foot. Tuck that left toe under and just lift the back knee into your dragon pose. Lovely. So maybe you're happy here, maybe you want to go a little bit deeper, come down on your forearms into your lizard, make sure that that right knee is pointing straight ahead. And you can give yourself a little rock here, whichever version you're in, just rock on that back leg. We're just trying to open up those hips a little more, just trying to warm up those muscles, really get used to that feeling of being really open, really stretched. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely, everybody, well done. Everyone on Zoom, you're looking gorgeous. Everyone on Facebook, I'm sure you're also looking wonderful. Take a nice deep breath, drop that back knee, walk those hands into your upright position. And one more time, we're just going to take that lunge, bring your arms up in line with your ears, and sink into that front knee bend. Really feeling that opening. Take a nice deep inhale, both hands down on either side of that front foot, tuck that left toe under, step back into your plank position. And take a nice deep breath, drop those knees and bring yourself back into your all fours. Give yourself a little wiggle. Your hips and hamstrings might be feeling a little bit stretched out. It's that quite satisfying feeling of when you pull yourself out of a really deep stretch. And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So bringing yourself back into your stacked tabletop position. Tuck that left toe under and kick up behind you. So keep the left knee bent, the left foot flexed. So maybe you're happy here, maybe you want to trickle those right fingers out in front of you on the mat. Maybe you want to reach the right arm. And maybe you want to bring the right hand all the way back to take hold of the left foot and give yourself a nice little opposite leg stretch. Lovely, really feel yourself opening the shoulder, opening the hips, getting into the spine. Inhale, find your gaze. Find that still point and hold, breathing, inhale. And exhale. And inhale, gorgeous. And exhale. Really nice, well done. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting go of that foot if you're holding it. Keeping that foot lifted. Take a nice deep breath. Tuck that right toe under. Make sure the weight is evenly distributed between the palms. And push up into your three-legged dog. We're going to straight that leg out behind us. And start to open that left hip now. Gaze underneath your left armpit. And just drop that left foot back. Bending the knee. And really push down through your palms, evenly distributing the weight. Make sure that your shoulders are away from the ears. Your shoulders are rotated outwards. Take a nice deep breath. And gently we're going to draw that left knee now in towards our chest. Plant that left foot. Drop the back right knee. Make sure that left foot is underneath the left knee. Sink into that hips. And you might find that one side is a lot tighter than the other, and that's completely normal. What we tend to do in human nature is we find a side that we're stronger on or that we're more flexible on, and that side tends to get a lot more attention. So you'll notice as well, sometimes when you're standing, maybe you're putting extra weight onto one leg. It's completely normal. Take a nice deep breath here. So if you want to just stay in your low lunge, lovely. If you want to take your twist, right hand now comes to the outside of the right mat. So we're taking it nice and wide. Left arm coming out in front. You're going to circle that left arm all the way back. And maybe you want to pick that right foot up this time. Drawing that right heel in towards you and sink into that hip opening. And breathe. So we want to give this side the same warm up we gave the other side, so that by then our hips and hamstrings should be pretty warm, should be feeling pretty open. Deep inhale. Well done, everybody. Whichever version you're in, just give me one more breath. Drop that right leg down. Lovely. Bring both hands on either side of that foot. Straight the left leg. Flex that left foot. Nice deep hamstring stretch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, folding forward, bringing your torso over the thigh. Trying to creep those fingers forward. Inhale. Exhale. Really feel that indulgent hamstring stretch right at the top, all the way down to the backs of your knees. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely, everybody. Well done. Inhale. And exhale. Sinking lower into that stretch. Give me one more breath. And then gently bring that left foot forward back into your low lunge. And this time what we're going to do is bring our arms up in line with our ears. So maybe you're happy here, drop those shoulders down away from the ears, and maybe you want to take the split. So this time we bring our right arm forward, our left arm back. So we're twisting the spine. Take a nice deep breath, and maybe you want to drop that left hand back towards your right calf and reaching back with your right arm. Sink into those hips. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale, one more breath. Really feel those hips melting open. And gently windmill those hands back on either side of that front foot. Straighten that leg. Left leg nice and straight. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale, really, really folding nice and deep. Lovely. Remember, we're hinging at the hip. So if you feel like you've got a curve in the spine, just pull yourself gently out of this stretch. It's always better to have a straight back than a curve in the spine. So it doesn't matter if you don't get super deep into the stretch. What you want to avoid is this kind of hunchback of Notre Dame, which we tend to do. And very flexible people as well, I do it as well, we tend to put our ego above our form. So we think, oh, you know, I can get this low into the stretch, but we don't think about maybe what it's doing to our backs if they're curved, or what we're doing to our hips if they're slightly lopsided. So try and keep yourself nice and straight and aligned, and just bring yourself forward, because the last thing we want to do is injure ourselves going into splits. So trying to keep our form nice and balanced. Inhale and exhale. And then gently dropping that left foot down. You're going to take both hands now to the inside of that left foot. Tuck the right foot over and just lift that back knee into your dragon pose. So maybe you want to stay here, and maybe you want to sink even lower. Come onto your forearms into your lizard pose. And whichever version you're in, we're just going to give ourselves a little rock on that back foot to just open up those hips. Really opening them. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Well done, everybody. Inhale. And exhale. Gorgeous. Give me one more deep breath here. Gently walk the hands back. Drop that back knee. And just give yourself one more lunge. Bringing those arms up on either side of the ears. Sink into those hips. Gorgeous. Well done. Inhale. Maybe give yourself a little back bend if you want to. Take a deep breath, bring those palms down on either side of that front foot, tuck that right toe under, and bring your left leg back now. So maybe you want to push straight up into your downward facing dog. And maybe you want to join me in a little vinyasa. Tuck your elbows in, come down through your chaturanga, push forward, upward facing dog. Make sure the tops of the feet are down on the mat, shoulders down, and push those toes under, sit bones up towards the sky, downward facing. So our first proper downward dog of the class, we're just going to recap downward dog here. So downward dog is our powerhouse move. It really stretches, rejuvenates, and energizes the entire body. What we're doing here is stretching the shoulders, the spine, the hamstrings, the calves, the arches, the hands, the arms, basically everything. We're strengthening our legs, we're strengthening our arms, strengthening our shoulders. So you want to be drawing those heels down towards the mat, keep the spine nice and straight. And if you feel like you've got a curve in the spine, much better to give yourself a bent knee. You're still going to get the same stretch, but you want to make sure you have a straight back over everything else. Rotate the shoulders out to the side to make sure that you don't injure yourself, and push into your little fingers, the outside of your palms, Excuse me, I talk too much. And just rotate those elbows outwards, drawing your navel in towards your spine, just gazing between your legs. And inhale, pushing down through the palms. Lovely. And let's take a nice deep inhale here. We're going to come up on our toes, raising our heels. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Feel that nice stretch on the back of the hamstrings and the calves. If you've got tight hamstrings and calves, this is a lovely one. Lifting and lowering, gorgeous, and lift. And lowering. If you do want to go outside and say thank you to the NHS, please feel free. I can hear them going mental on my street, so please do feel free to do that if you'd like to. And we're just going to give ourselves one more lift here. And lower. And take a nice deep breath. This time we're going to drop forward into a high plank, core engaged. Make sure the wrists are underneath the shoulders. And you're going to drop those knees down towards the mat, but just hover them. And as you do, send the bum back towards the heels, push up into your downward dog, drawing a little circle with your body. So again, you drop forward, high plank, wave your body forward. Drop those knees down towards the mat, push the bum back towards the heels, and drawing up into your downward dog. Let's do 3 more of those. And waving, high plank, knees towards the mat, push the bum back towards the heels, up into your down dog. Lovely. And again, wave the body forward, high plank. Drop those knees down, but just float them, bum back toward the heels, downward dog. Gorgeous. Last time. Wave the body forward, high plank, core engaged. Drop those knees, push the bum back towards the heels. Step those up towards the sky. Walk those feet out here, gorgeous. Start to take your feet wide on the mat. So they're about as wide as the mat itself, and you're just going to walk the hands back, bend the knees, and bring yourself into your malasana, your yoga squat. So you're just going to give yourself a little wiggle here, really opening up the hips. Just moving around like a kind of little creature, a little crab or something. So if you can't get your heels on the ground in your yoga squat, that's absolutely fine. Take it however you would like. You're going to bring your palms together at heart center and just use your elbows to push those knees apart and just breathe here, really feeling nice and open. So some people feel quite vulnerable in this position, and that's fine. If it's not for you, just take a quick child's pose. Otherwise, just pushing your hips open with your knees and breathe. And deep inhale. And exhale. And gently bring your palms down onto the mat and just start to walk yourself back into your downward facing dog. Walk those feet out, inhale. And you're going to send that right leg all the way back towards the sky into your 3-legged dog. Take a nice deep breath, send that right knee forward now to meet your right wrist. And drop down into your pigeon pose. So you're going to send that left leg all the way out behind you. Your right calf is parallel with the top of your mat and your hips squared to the front. Very important here is that your hips are aligned. So if you've got a yoga block, lovely. If you haven't got a yoga block and you would like to pop something underneath your hips, things that work, literally anything. A pack of baby wipes, a chunky book like a dictionary, a little box, anything that's quite square and chunky that you can just pop underneath your lifted hip if you feel like you're a little bit lopsided. You want to just make sure that those hips are squared to the front like car headlights. Doesn't matter how deep you sink into that hip opening as long as those hips are aligned. Why do we want to make sure the hips are aligned over anything else? Because like I said before, if we're a little bit lopsided in the hips, that's when injuries happen, especially in things like splits. So just making sure that we have our hips nice and aligned. Give yourself a nice little bend in the back, drop those shoulders down, puff that chest out like a nice proud pigeon. Maybe you're happy here and maybe you want to start to walk those hands forward a little. And maybe you want to drop down onto your forearms. And maybe you want to sink all the way down into your reclined pigeon, your sleeping pigeon. So you're bringing your torso over the bent knee, forehead to the mat. So your reclined pigeon is an active rest and a passive stretch. So you're kind of resting here, but also your hips are still doing a lot of work. They're still opening. If you are very flexible, this can be a really nice place to just rest. Some people really hate this pose. Some people find it very uncomfortable. If you're one of those people, please feel free to take your child's pose and just meet us back when we come out of this stretch. Or you can take a blanket and pop it underneath that back knee if that makes it feel any better. Just really feel those hips opening, releasing those hamstrings, breathing into that stretch. Gently walk those hands back into your upright pigeon, keeping that breath flowing. Inhale. Try not to drop forward, keeping yourself nice and upright. Inhale. And if anybody would like to pick up their back foot, please feel free. Feel free to take that foot in your elbow crease if you're feeling super flexible today, whichever version you're doing. Take a nice deep breath. Drop both hands back down onto the mat. Drop that back foot. Tuck that toe under and push back into your plank position. Either push straight up into your downward dog or feel free to take a vinyasa. Tucking those elbows in, come down through your chaturanga. Push forward, up, facing dog. Push back, downward facing. Walking those feet out here. Give yourself a little wiggle. Ready to do the other side. Send that left leg all the way up towards the sky. Three-legged dog. And then drawing that left knee forward to meet the left wrist. And dropping into our pigeon pose on the left-hand side. Send that right leg back. Untuck that right foot. So, like I said before, you'll probably have one side that will be a little bit more lopsided. This is definitely my lopsided side, my naughty side where I tend to cheat. So if you do need the block on one side and not the other, that's very, very normal. What our aim is that we want to even it out so both sides are exactly the same. And you don't need the block on either side. Sink into those hips, make sure they're nice and even. Inhale, send those shoulders down your spine. Puffing that chest out like a nice proud pigeon. Inhale here. Exhale, lengthening that neck. Really nice, everybody, well done. And maybe you want to start to walk those hands forward. Maybe you only come here today, maybe you want to drop down onto those forearms. And maybe you want to bring yourself all the way down onto the mat, into your resting pigeon, feeling those hips melting open. And breathe into that reclined pigeon. Remember, we're still stretching even though we're resting. Really feeling that feeling of our hips melting into the mat like lava, opening up completely. Inhale. And exhale, well done, lovely. Everybody give me one more breath. Gorgeous pigeons. Gently walk back up into your upright pigeon and feel free here if you would like to lift up that back foot, then please do. You want to take hold of that back foot, lovely. If you want to take a bind, really nice. And just whichever version you're in, take a deep breath. One more breath here. Gently drop that back foot. And from here, you're just going to swing that right foot around and you're going to bring yourself into a seated position on your mat, drawing your feet together like palms, taking your bound ankle pose. Bring your hands around your feet. Just another little hip opener here, one of my favorites. You probably guys already know that if you've taken a million of my classes. Drop those shoulders down, pushing those knees apart. So we're pushing the knees away from each other, but holding our feet together. And instead of drawing the feet towards us, just try and hold them away from your body. So we've given ourselves the feeling of being wide open. What this pose does is it increases blood flow to your pelvic floor, your mula bandha. It's all nice and activated. It's a really, really lovely pose for that feeling of being completely open. Inhale. And exhale, drop those knees, opening up. Inhale. And exhale. Feeling those hips melt open. Inhale. And exhale. Well done, everybody. Give me one more deep breath. Gently, you're going to start to take those legs nice and wide into a wide leg straddle. If you're sitting next to somebody, you might want to go sideways on your mats for this. Flex those feet so you feel those hamstrings pulling open. And you're just going to very gently inhale. Make sure you're sitting nice and even on the mat. Take your legs as wide as they can. And you're going to gently start to walk those hands forward on the inhale. And exhale. So inhale, we pause. Exhale, walk those hands forward still. Even if it's just a little way, you want to keep those feet flexed as well, so you get the ultimate stretch through the hamstrings. Inhale. Exhale, walking forward. Inhale. Exhale, forward. And gently bringing yourself forward with the flat back. So try not to curve the spine. Try and bring yourself as far forward as you can, keeping those sit bones level. So you're hinging at the hips, keeping the back nice and flat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Hold here. Give me one more deep breath. Gorgeous, well done everybody. Gently walk those hands back into your upright position. Take a breath and slowly draw those legs together into your Dandasana, your staff pose. So legs together, feet flexed, sitting on your sit bones. Take a nice deep breath, engaging those legs, engaging through your hamstrings, your calves, your glutes. Bring your arms down by your side. Take a deep breath. And exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And just bend your knees and give yourself a little hug. Drawing your forehead towards your knee. We're going to take our split now on both sides. So if you do have blocks and you would like to use them, the way to use them is to pop them underneath your crotch, where it's going to be the lowest point, where you want to be the lowest point. And then my good way of measuring splits is every time you do it, try and take a block away, or if you're using books, try and take a book away. So we're going to start, bring yourself back into your all fours position. And remember, don't push yourself. Be very, very gentle, be kind. If you just come into a lunge today, that's perfectly fine, that's lovely. Send your left leg back. We're going to do our right side first because I know this is my bad side. You're going to bring that right foot out in front and you're slowly going to start to just inch those legs apart. And remember, inhale to lengthen, exhale to stretch, to just bring yourself deeper into that stretch. And gently kind of rock yourself in and out. So you're just feeling yourself get lower, get deeper into the stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Really gently lowering yourself down onto the mat. And if you need to bend a knee, then by all means bend a knee. By all means, do whatever feels good for you. But make sure that those hips stay aligned. Make sure that that body is nice and aligned. And don't push yourself past what feels comfortable. Well, maybe not comfortable, because splits is never really comfortable. But whatever, if you feel like you're going to injure yourself, you feel like something's not right, just pull yourself out. Wherever you are, take a nice deep breath. Really enjoy that feeling of being as open as possible. Deep inhale. And exhale. Well done. Give me one more deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bring both hands to the inside of that right leg and gently, 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 you're going to bring that right leg all the way back around. Draw your heels together, your knees apart. Sit that bum back on your heels and reach your arms out in front, forehead down onto the mat. And breathe. Well done, everybody. Gorgeous. Really, really nice. I would love, love, love at the end of this class if you guys that did my splits class last week could leave a comment saying if you feel like you've improved at all on either side. Take a nice deep breath. Gently bring yourself back upright, all fours position. You're going to send that right leg back now, that left leg forward. And we're going to start on this side now. So I always like to start in a nice low lunge and then gently heel toe. So if you've got a sticky mat, like my mat's quite sticky today, usually for splits I'd use maybe a fabric mat, or I'd put some socks on so that I can easily slide. Take a nice deep breath, start to inch those legs forward. Really opening up those hips. Inhale. Exhale. Really feel yourself melting into that hip opening. Inhale. Sinking into that hip opening. And breathe. And remember, there will be days when you feel tighter. So for example, I feel like I'm tighter today than I was last week. And breathe. Inhale. Wherever you are, one more breath. And gently, you're just going to bring those legs back around. Bring yourself back into your Baddha Konasana, your bound angle pose. Draw your feet together. And just gently give your feet a little hug. And you're just going to lean forward. Bring your face towards your feet. Inhale. And take one more deep breath here. Gently roll up through the spine. Bring yourself back onto your mat, feet flat, knees bent. And just opening your heart center and then folding forward. Give yourself a little hug. Well done, everybody. Splits are really, really intense. And you guys did so good. Don't worry if you didn't get into splits today. You know, it's a journey, and some days I can't fully split on one side. Some days I can, some days I can't. It really, really does depend on the day. It depends on your body. It depends on where you are at that point in the month. So just be kind to yourselves, and we will revisit it again if it's still a popular one. Just bring your arms now in line with your legs, and we're going to very slowly start to roll back onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. The slower you go, the nicer it is for your abs. Roll it the whole way back. Peel back down onto the mat. Bring your arms on either side. Take your feet into a tabletop position. Let's take a little twist to finish. Drop those knees over to the left, gaze to the right. Remember, we like twists because they compress our organs, release the toxins. And then when we release the twist, fresh blood flows through our organs. Always gaze in the opposite direction of your legs to get the maximum twist. And then bring those knees all the way over to the right, gaze to the left. So imagining that you're a dirty dishcloth being wrung out, and when we release the twist, you're having fresh water just flowing through you. And back to center, and draw those knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Before we straighten out, take our full body stretch to finish. Point those fingers, point those toes, reaching from one side of the room to the other. Really enjoy that feeling of that deep, tense stretch. We're getting the full body engaged. We're getting the full body involved. Someone's got you by the fingers, someone's got you by the toes. You can't get away. There's tension in every single part of your body. Include your face. Beady eyes, scrunched up nose, scrunched up mouth. Make the ugliest face you've ever made. Give yourself a million double chins. Keep stretching. And while we're being this tense and making our face this ugly, why not pour in all of our mental tension as well? Take everything that's frustrating you and annoying you, pour it into this stretch. Really, really build up a nice big tension bomb that we're just going to release. So you're reaching one side of the room to the other. Got the fingers, got the toes, you can't get away. You're tense everywhere. You're almost shaking from the tension of this stretch. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1. Let go. Bring the arms down by your side. Let your feet fall open on the mat. Now is the time if you need to take a drink of water, put some socks on, a jumper on, grab a blanket, dim your lights, do whatever you need to do. for your Shavasana. If you're pregnant, please take Shavasana lying on your left side with a pillow between your knees. Everyone else, you're welcome to take it however you would like, but I must recommend lying on your back. It is lovely. I'm going to come to seated as always so that I can address you all properly. And let's take a nice deep inhale. Melt down into your mats. And exhale. Tune into your body, tune into your breath. Bring yourself back to where you were at the beginning of the class. Inhale, we expand the abdomen, send all of the air down towards the bottom of the lungs, filling them like a glass all the way to the top. And on your exhale, reverse the breath, draw the navel in towards the spine. Using your breath here to cleanse your body, feeling it wash through you. And exhale, release. And again, inhale. And exhale. Back to tuning out all of our distractions, thoughts and worries. Taking that imaginary broom and sweeping our mind completely clear, free of clutter and wandering thoughts. Visualizing our mind as an empty room that only our air can rush in and out of. Checking in with those tension points. Dropping the shoulders down away from the ears, creating space for our neck to grow nice and long. Unclench the jaw, unlock those back teeth and drop the tongue down away from the roof of the mouth. Make sure the facial features are soft and gentle. Let's take our attention to our feet. Feel them fall open on the mat, each toe unraveling one by one, switching off. Ankles, calves, knees and thighs becoming lightweight as though someone has dropped the batteries out of us. From the base of our spine all the way up, each vertebrae melting down into the mat one by one. As though someone is pressing down the keys on a piano, pushing you down into the mat, into the earth. All the way up to your shoulders and feeling those shoulders melting down even further, away from the ears, gliding down your spine, becoming one with the earth, melting into your mat like lava. Neck long, head light, and facial features soft and gentle. Soft in the jaw, unlocked in the teeth and the mouth, tongue down away from the roof of your mouth. Take your attention to your arms, feel them become featherweight at your sides, your palms open, each finger unraveling. And finally your chest and your abdomen. Focusing in on that slow and steady rise and fall of your breath as you inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Let's allow ourselves these moments of complete peace that we so deserve, to just breathe and melt into our mats, enjoying this moment of complete relaxation. Focusing in on that slow and steady inhale And exhale. Gently start to wiggle those fingers and toes to draw awareness back into your bodies. Draw the knees in towards your chest. And gently start to rock from side to side, massaging your spine on the mat. Bring yourself all the way over onto the right hand side into your fetal position. In your own time, keeping those eyes closed, bring yourself up to seated on your mat. Place your palms on your knees. And let's take a nice deep inhale all together. And as we exhale, give us a deep sigh. Really let out anything that's left of your tension. And again, inhale. One more time, biggest sigh, inhale. Lovely, draw your palms together at heart center. Thank you all so much for practicing with me. As always, you are such a delight. So lovely to see so many of you every single night. Please, if you would like to leave a comment on Facebook or quickly on Zoom before I end the meeting. If you have any suggestions or things that you would like to practice this week, please do. Tomorrow evening, we're going to do a focus on lower back pain again, as that's a very popular one. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Namaste.